Hey, everyone. We got a few people here already, so that's good. It's probably because Jeff's not here, right?
Exactly.
Must be slacking. Well, we're live, so that means it's what? Friday? Get ready for the weekend? Oh, wait.
Not quite.
Unfortunately, no. So it's only Tuesday. There we go.
Tuesday.
It's been a long week already. Yeah. So I'm Matt Anderley from Pat Phrase. That's Justin Armenta from JA Digitizing. And the topic of today is organizing, which I do not do, as you can see all around me. So this will be interesting.
So organizing, how you keep your files, how you keep the information for your files. There's some stuff that you could use within most softwares. We're going to show you the one that we use, which is Wacom. But some other ideas, stuff that I have used in production in the past to kind of keep all the information there. So, because not everybody's going to remember every single detail of every job. So,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, how many times have you done a design, sewed something out, have to go back and remake it, a year later? You're like, which Madeira blue did I use?
Exactly.
Good thing there's only like 4 of them, right? Yeah.
Maybe exactly. Maybe 5.
And the way I've been doing it forever is just selecting the color, leaving it as the color in Wacom on the screen, and hoping that it doesn't get messed up later on. And I've been good so far, except when I didn't do that. So all my really old designs are just whatever. Yeah. So guess we'll
being that you're a patch maker, I mean, most of the time I would assume you do it the same color if it is a reorder. It's not like an embroiderer where it's like, oh, on red shirts we do it this color, on black shirts we do it this color, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it depends though, because like Madeira gray, like there's 1812, which is the first one that I go to because it's, the War of 1812. It's the first number that I think of, and then you have 1886, which is another gray. They're two light grays, but 1886 is way lighter. Right now I have 1886 on needle 1 on one of my heads, and 1812 is on the others, and it's just like I only have 4 of those, but I have like 7 of the 1886s, and it's just it's all over the place. So that's why organization, I think, is paramount and need to get a little bit more organized. So I think that's kind of why we're talking about this. Maybe it'll slap some common sense into my business here, but
But go ahead and check in with a few folks in here. We got Barb. Good evening, Barb. We have Gail, a newbie to the show. Welcome, Gail.
I feel like I've seen you before somewhere. I don't know if you're on Brain Fart. The sassy subbers, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But hello.
Cindy. Good evening, Cindy. And Barb again saying hello to us. We got Al. Aren't we all masters of mastering mass chaos on a daily basis? Yeah, pretty much. We try to be. And we got Cindy saying, I need this. I was just looking for a design today and couldn't remember what I called it. So, real quick, we got Ginger. Also, I have many copies of designs. Eddie Jr. Oh, another person from the Kingsbury Crafts.
No, he's saying hi at them, I think.
Yeah. Oh, saying hi.
Yeah.
So, what we do at my day job in production for the embroidery house is, yes, there's definitely different locations that we save files. I have learned over the years there might be a little bit of quirk in when saving a file, and it might get corrupted from one way or another. This is, back in the day, it was the floppy disk that we used to save on, of course. I actually worked exactly.
This is actually a coaster, though.
Oh, a coaster.
Silicone coaster. By the way, if you put this in a floppy drive reader, good luck getting it out. It does not. You need tweezers are required. Anyway, continue.
So back in the day, I did work at another embroidery house that we had the boxes and boxes of the disc carriers, and unfortunately, there was a fire at that embroidery company, and they lost a lot of files. I'm sure servers were a thing back in those days. It wasn't very common that, small business, exactly. Small business had something like that, especially off-site servers. So things like that. They did have 2 sets of discs because, again, discs go bad. So they did have a second copy. Unfortunately, both of them were on site. So, yeah, they did lose a lot of information. But so, yeah, what we have is we have a network. Several computers can access it. Our machines run off the network as well. You can send the designs through the computer. We have different folders. We have a number disk folder system that pretty much every few months we go to another number disk so that you don't have one folder with thousands of files in it. We also have them by alphabetical. And some of the big customers that we have, like the university here in town, University of Arizona, we have a folder specifically for them. So as far as the digital files, we do save them 2 or 3 times each. Then we actually have a collection of 3-ring binders with all our spec sheets in it. So that's going to give you the information of, the job name, and I'll share that in just a moment. Job name, file name, and all the information as far as stitch counts and size and colors that are involved in the different colorways. So actually, I'll go ahead and share this really quick. So yeah, so we have this spec sheet for all our embroidery designs. We file under the design name, and that typically is going to correspond to what the customer's name is, what the business name is, or there's some contract customers that refer to a certain logo. However, they're titling it is what we're going to file under, because more than likely their paperwork is going to correspond to that name every time they come up with that repeat job. So there's the design name, the folders that we save it in. There's the number folders, the alphabetical folders, and another customer folder. File name of the design, stitch count, dimensions, placement. That's a good information, because typically run of the mill is left chest for polos, center for hat, but as well as I do, it's popularity of doing designs on the panel of the hat now. There's sides of the hat, backs of hats. If there's any special placement on like any certain type of bags, and then we have the color sequences here. We have a section that will put the garment color, and even sometimes we'll notate garment styles. There's those designs that customers come across and they're like, it may be one color sequence for black jackets, but it's different for black polos or something like that. So this is the information here that we keep on file in plastic sleeves in these 3-ring binders that are all alphabetized. So we can always refer back to them, as well as add in the information that we need to just by writing in the information as you go along year after year.
So do you still keep digital copies of like that? Because I see it's a Google spreadsheet. Do you still keep a digital copy of that so you can search through it?
We don't keep a digital copy, but we do print out 2 copies, and then we have the accordion folders that we alphabetize, and the owner of the company actually, when those fill up, he takes them home. That way, kind of an offsite thing as far as the paper trail that we do have backups for. Of course, the digital files are on a server somewhere, so whether the building burns down or not, we can always access those. So it's definitely backed up and protected. So we got Crystal here. That sheet looks familiar. So Crystal used to be one of my operators a couple years ago. One of my best operators, I should say.
You scared her away.
Yeah. Yeah, she left us, went back home, back east. But yeah, I'm sure she's very familiar with that form. But within the software, most softwares have this information that you can do with different colorways. Let me pull up a file here so we can take a look at WOCOM. I don't know if there's any other questions or comments you can grab there while I'm doing this.
Well, Kingsbury Crafts, which was Gail, said that she has a drawer with unmarked thumb drives. It's always a challenge. Yeah, I got a drawer full of them too. I just choose not to look at them. And then Barb is saying, I save all my files for customers in their folder if they have more than one order. I have a subfolders with the order number. I do the same for projects, and you have multiple backups. So when I started Patchphrase, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. When I started Patchphrase, I was doing everything on storing it on the laptop. And then obviously very quickly I realized that that's not smart. So I got Dropbox. So I was saving everything in the Dropbox, and then that was working fine. And then when got the website, then we got the email, sign up for Google Suites, and then you get like Google Drive with that, and then you basically, it's like Dropbox pretty much, where you just save it into a folder on your computer and it puts it in the cloud, which is awesome because there's times where you are like, I need to send either Jeff or Justin a file that I already digitized that they need to run on a design or whatever. I can be at work, since I don't do this full time, pull out my phone and send them the file through Discord or through an email. Right. And I don't have to like remote in or go home, sit at my computer and whatever. It just makes it super easy. Plus, like what you're saying is, yeah, you could have an act of God or whatever, heaven forbid, in your home or office, something happens, you lose all those files, and having them on the cloud or in 3 different locations is the ideal situation. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And nowadays, especially like, me, where I'm going to an office during the day, I'm using WOCOM in the office. I come home to work at home as well. So it's just nice to have that seamless transition to, it's not, oh, I got to save all my files to this thumb drive or this disk, or I got to email files to myself. If I'm working on a file and it saves to a Dropbox, come home, grab it from the Dropbox, continue working. Gone are those days that, you need physical, files with you, which is a good thing. Between Google Drive, I think Windows has, I think it's
Their
called
OneDrive. Yeah.
OneDrive, Dropbox. There's a couple other ones. I think there's one called just Box as well.
Yeah. And if you're digitizing in software like Chroma or Brilliance, which are Mac compatible, I believe the iCloud or something.
Yes.
You have that exact same thing. So I mean, pretty much you have, the nice thing is you have multiple different competitors, so the prices are not a monopoly basically. So it's not you think of it as like insurance, like having a $5 a month or whatever subscription to having this online file storage that is actually secure. And your files are stored on multiple servers throughout the world, makes it very redundant versus, you have it on your one computer and your cat spills your coffee on it and now it's all gone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't using some type of online storage, they're relatively inexpensive. I think Google gives you a certain amount if you have a Google account for free. I think my Dropbox is like 2 terabytes, and it's very, very inexpensive for the year.
Yeah.
So we got a couple. So Al says we use a DFS and a file cabinet where we store all sew outs, print out the WillCom production worksheet, then we make any notes such as thread change. So once it's approved, now the idea of a fire session, consider a backup plan. Yeah, if you're keeping something or all your copies in-house, that's definitely something that you may want to look into. It is kind of a scary thing that if it's all gone, it's all that information, the money of all the digitizing that you'd have to pay for again. I mean, unless you're working with your digitizer, and hopefully your digitizer is keeping a good record of your designs. When I save them in multiple folders. I do save them in a customers folder as well as by the month and year. So I could reference 2 different ways if I'm searching for something. Most of those online storage also has a search function where you can just search keywords. So it's not like you need to know exactly where you're saving things. I mean, if like Al being my customer, I know that if he calls me and says, hey, I can't find this design, I know I can go directly to their folder, grab it, email it to them. But let me pull this up here. There is within WillCom, this is one of my Easter designs here. Within WillCom, you can save different colorways. So if you are working with different color garments and you need to save that information, especially if you have the software in-house that is going to be native to the files that you're keeping, or you can save them in the native file type of your software, it will retain the color information on those files. Within WillCom, I do like this where you can rename color names. So say like on lights. So on light color garments, it's going to be that color. You can add colorways. Say on darks. And you can actually change the background so you can represent your garment color. You can even further go into WillCom has actual sample garment images you can drop in the background as well if you want to get really into setting up exactly garment styles and garment types, like garment colors. There's a lot of WillCom's really, really robust when it comes to saving information like that. But within the actual colors, say you wanted to tell it that you're going to do these particular colors on darks. So you can toggle back and forth on lights. It's going to be this color sequence. On darks, it's going to be this color sequence. So within the software itself, when you're saving the native files, like I said, the Google sheet that I'm using is the same information that you can save within WillCom. And there is different softwares that have functions similar to this. Is there, Al's asking, is there a specific version of WillCom you need to access this feature? I've seen this feature in WillCom back to, I think the first time I started using WillCom was maybe version 8. And I believe this feature was back then. So I think this has been a feature for quite a while within the WillCom. It's just a matter of going into window, and you're going to go to your colorway editor. I closed it under Docker's colorway editor, and it's going to show your colorways. And this is where your thread charts are, and you can go in there and actually choose what brand of thread that you use. And you can load just that brand, and you can find the specific threads that you have in house. You can even create thread charts if you want to go in there and really fine tune it to just the threads that you actually have in house that you use regularly. But again, we do this spec sheet only because the way our workflow kind of works, the operators aren't too involved with the digitizing side of things and manipulating the designs. So I would rather not have full access to EMB files to something accidentally happened to them or something changed that shouldn't be changed. So when I say from WillCom into the folders for the operators to access their DST files, and so they know they're just calling them up simply to send to the machines, and they're getting their information from the hard copies of the folders. So, but with my working file with the EMB file, I do save that information in there, and a lot of times too, because it's an ongoing changing thing. Sometimes with some designs and from one year to the other, there may be real solid things like the University of Arizona. The A is always going to be red, white, blue, no matter what. That's the way it's licensed. That's the way it has to be. But you may have another job where a customer's color scheme goes from red and blue to black and orange. So something like this where it's a physical spec sheet that you can grab. And when you're looking at the new paperwork as far as the order, you have the spec sheet. You can see if they match, and if there is any changes, you can jot down those changes right there as you're working.
That's a lot of information right there.
Yeah. So Eric says it makes you a hero to the customer to decentralize the storage of the customer order info. Keeping it solid informational workflow is crucial. I couldn't say that even any more than what Eric's saying. I cringe when I have to go back to a customer and ask them a question about a job that we've ran once or 3 times. If a piece of information is not there, it's lost or something like that, I hate going back to them and saying, hey, what color did we do on blue shirts last time? Or there's blue text in the logo and you're doing blue shirts. There's times where we take for granted, a customer comes in and we may recognize them and it's like, oh yeah, I know your design. I know what you usually do. And maybe they order a different color shirt this time. And it's not necessarily talked about at the time of the order because, I'm not specifically looking at the spec sheet. I'm not specifically looking at what they ordered last time. So a question like that is like, hey, this colorway is going to be new. You're ordering a different color shirt this time. What are we going to do with this particular garment? And then that's where you can add that information to your spec sheet.
Actually, that just made me think of a recent order that I had. So I had a reorder for 20 more patches. I'm like, yeah, easy. I'll bring them up. Fortunately, my screen is too wide. But you can see this right here. These are supposed to be biker patches, so they're actually pretty small, 3-inch by 1.5 inch. This is what I got when I opened the old design, and I'm like, okay, black border for marrow, easy. White text for the text, obviously. Embroidered it out, made 25 of them or something, whatever this is times 2. and I put the heat seal on the back. I marrowed it, had it all packaged up, sent the picture. It was like, they're ready for pickup. And then it's like, they're supposed to be black text. And I'm like, oh.
Oh.
Because when I opened my software, because I wasn't organized, all my text is white, because then I could select it a lot easier, because I had it set up to do all the text first and then do the borders. So that's why I made that mistake, because the text in the software was white.
Right.
Even though right above my computer, I have a patch that's completed with it in black. So, yeah, so that sucks. But yeah, I could have, like Justin was saying, is over here, product colors. I know you can't really read it, probably, but I did notice that with this new update, there was something added. One of these, I think it was the order tab was added. I don't remember seeing that in the like 4 point whatever it was before it is now.
The latest update.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the order tab in there, because now you can create customers and the contact info and everything in the software, which is kind of neat, but I'm not organized yet, and maybe one day I will be. But and the colorway thing is also really nice. I just wanted to mention, so like I have these two designs, exactly the same thing, just different color scheme. You can set it up like Justin was saying, is have two different colorways. I technically can't do it for this one because one of the colors doesn't line up. But like this patch here, I can't find my original one. Again, not organized. But there's a colored version where I had it set up where I would just select a different colorway, and then it would change it to the actual thread colors I used. But live by what I say, not what I do. So, so we'll pull that back.
There's another comment with Eric. If you don't have a file system that saves color or using non-native files, you can print out a PDF of the color change and information and save those alongside your stitch files. Truthfully, most folks will be saving a native file and have it colorized and select threads, but you could always have the production sheet back up with your PDF printer. Yeah, within our spec sheets as well as the information. So when a design's new, I actually type this information in. So it's going to be all the information is going to be typed in. I print it out. But like I said, as it changes in time, if there's any additions, there might be, if there is an addition to the garment, like names, in the back, we actually use the pulse system. So our operators do use the pulse to set up names, name drops, numbers, stuff like that. So the information of fonts, sizes, placement, as far as names, as well as the design. We do have a printout of the design in the sleeve as well. Not only is that giving the operator a visual that when they call up the design, they now can just match it up saying, yeah, this is the corresponding, the correct design. There's a lot of times where there's maybe 3 or 4 different versions of a design. So again, just another visual double check that they are running the correct design that's corresponding with the paperwork. Eric says, second, native file control works similar structure as Justin. Yeah, that's if you, even if you're not digitizing in-house, having some type of software that can open up designs, save information, at least do some keyboard lettering, I think is a must if you're an embroiderer. Yeah. Just for the simple fact of just this information, trying to keep information stored, even if you're not doing any type of digitizing or editing or something like that.
So you're saying you should not use the lettering built into your embroidery machine? That doesn't work for Puff, right?
No, it does not. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't even remember what year the Tajima was. I think we've used it a couple times. Again, this is back the other embroidery house before it burned down. We would use the keyboard lettering to do names, and that was about it. Just because there was kind of like that standard set name in block that was pretty standard, that was easy to use. And I think that's the only time we really used it. So Alice said that we also started taking photos of every job and attaching to our in-house software, so you could reference that if need be. Yeah, if anybody has like any in-house purchase order software or any way that they track their orders and they can save images of the designs, even if it's just like the original artwork of the design, not necessarily the digitized file, any visual I think is a must. Going by saying it's the U of A Department of Engineering. Well, I think since I've been doing this, we've probably done 75 different versions of the Department of Engineering. So visuals that you see definitely helps you out when you're pulling the paperwork and make sure you're doing the right job.
So one thing I was going to bring up, so one solution that would solve a lot of these problems is what's called a CRM, customer relations manager, resource manager, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some that'll cost you nothing, some that will cost you more. I've looked into quite a few of them, and I just did a quick search before we went live here. One that I did find that looks pretty good for being free, at least, looks like Fresh Sales, and it seems like it checks all of the boxes for everything that we were talking about. They have a free plan. How good it is, I don't know. Might try it out, but it does allow you to create customers and upload files. So that's where we're talking about is I can create a customer. Like I just got another patch order in. I could put their information in here. I could put in their artwork that they submitted. I could upload that PDF, add in some notes, whatever. It just forces you to be organized, and has QuickBooks integration, Shopify, if you're using Shopify to sell your products. Looks like it's pretty good. We're obviously not sponsored because I literally just found this. So, although, but I'll put a link in the comments. But just a quick search, like I literally searched, I think like CRM or something, CRM sites. That's what I did. And this website came up with, and just scroll through, try a couple, and see if it has most of your features that you think you would want. Anything that would help with taxes, if you can do your accounting and stuff in it. If you don't already do that, like me, might be helpful. But
especially like you said, the integration. If a lot of people use QuickBooks, it's a real popular accounting program. If you start getting into something like this where it's already a built entity and you can have integrations into different apps like QuickBooks and whatnot. I think the hardest thing is if you are an established company. If we took our thousands of designs that we have and try to implement something like this at that point, I think that would be hard trying to, that would take some time trying to redo what's done. But yeah, if you are trying to try something new, or if your system's not working and you are trying to jump into something that's already ready made, definitely look up CRMs. I've looked into those before. If it's not broke, don't fix it type thing.
Yeah. Excel spreadsheets work pretty well until you're looking for something that you can't find easily, and sometimes having an actual search box would be super nice, but you don't know.
So yeah, we actually do this for the embroidery side as well as the silk screening side of things. Silk screening a little bit different. You got your ink colors. We actually make notes as far as like how we run a print job. If you're flashing between colors, if you're running something that's subtle, like something that doesn't have a white base and you want it subtle, so you're only doing one hit of a certain color, or coming around doing a second hit, all the technical stuff. My operator's gonna make notes on. So not only is it the information as far as the color sequence and what color garments we're doing and whatnot, all the kind of the hard facts on the job, but actually how he runs the job. So it's going to be the same every time. Consistency and quality, I think, are the two biggest things when it comes to production. I tell my operators if they're running a design, even if it's something we've done 20 times before, and they're running a design, it may be a new type of garment that we haven't done before, that we don't remember that we haven't done before, and that design's not working too well. Before you do 30 pieces, tell me. Sometimes it's just a quick edit, it's a quick adjustment to densities or pull compensation or whatever it might be. But I think the retention of customers really comes with, like I said, consistency and quality. So as long as you can keep track of that and make sure you have all the information to do those two things, I think it's paramount.
Don't mind me. I just signed up for a free trial of the free plan anyways for Freshworks. This is clicking around on it. Looks pretty cool.
I think you got Barb interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Oh, wrong button. This button. I got it pulled up. I just signed in. This is what I was greeted with. It looks like I can bring over all my emails and calendars, even though I'm not organized. I need someone to go through and like count how many times I've said that, but contacts to see what that looks like. And it's nice. It's free, so you can see if you don't like it, then you get rid of it. I got Jane in here. Apparently, I made a sale for Widgets Incorporated. And now we got Jeff, who joined in. Very sneaky.
Jeff decided to grace us with his presence tonight.
I came as quick as I could.
Well, you made it. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
But you can see here, I have files in this person's thing. So Jane Sampleton sample. Yeah, interesting. I recommend checking it out if this is kind of what you're looking for.
But I have to check that out. Looks kind of cool. So how do you keep, I know you've been listening for a little bit there, Jeff. How do you keep track of like your information on designs?
I keep track.
Do you?
Exactly.
No, I use Monday. Kind of a CRM. I'm fortunate enough that I don't have enough people in my corporation, so it doesn't count. I can use their free plan, but I keep my jobs in there. I'd like for it to be a little bit better tailored towards what I do. But the other nice part about it is it allows me to keep an inventory. So I'm using that's what I use right now until I find something better. There's a lot of really good solutions out there for our industry. It's just every one of them is like $80 to $100 a month.
Right. Yeah.
And starting out as a single company, it's just not feasible.
And what you need for your business may be different across the board. Just us three, we're gonna all have totally different ways that we need to organize our designs and what type of information we need to keep for our customers. If Barb has a business where she's strictly, allowing people to bring their garments in and all she has to worry about is the embroidery and what color she did, that's information that's different to someone like you that wants to keep stock of what Richardson hats they have in stock or what FlexFit hats they have in stock. So it really, really depends on your business itself and what you're doing and what information you're trying to retain. So, and like you said, a lot of those things do have some leeway of customization or what you can utilize and what they do and don't do. I think when you start getting into really trying to utilize it for every aspect of your business, accounting and maybe even order taking, I know the real popular ones out there, if you're in the stores, are the store builders and the online builders like Inksoft and Deco and whatnot. We actually use Inksoft at work. We do build company stores for select customers. It's it's awesome to use. It pretty much does all the order tracking for us. It's a matter of grabbing a store, printing out a purchase order of what needs to be ordered. So it's all there. You can refer back to it. I don't think we utilize it as much as we could. Again, we have kind of 25 years of working the way we've done it for so long. Inksoft we've only had for probably like the last 6 years. So trying to move everything over from one to the other, it's hard to do, especially when you're working in a really busy environment. To take that time to try to switch everything over, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's really hard to switch it over when you're constantly working in it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, how many people watching are like 1 or 2 people working for them? So imagine, you don't have much time to, monkey around with this stuff because you need it to survive, and you're probably afraid of making change. So,
right,
it's scary.
I mean, even for us, for every minute that we spend researching out these things and trying to get one set up, that's a minute that we're not doing an order.
Mm-hmm.
So, like
anyways.
Yeah, I mean, when I evaluate these things, I go through them pretty quick, and a lot of it's just, I can either spend my time going in depth into this and spending 2 weeks to set it up so that it works just how I want it, or I can skip over it and use my Excel sheet, or Monday, which so far is a pretty decent sized Excel sheet, but it does the inventory tracking and gives the searchability to it, which is really nice.
Right. Yeah, and again, I think you need to evaluate what you want for your business when it comes to organization and what you want out of it. Using a CRM, if you are trying to do the whole shebang, or a lot of the integration, a lot of them have built-in correspondence with your customers where you can send out monthly email letters or time certain follow-up with customers and stuff. There's a lot of them are pretty robust when it comes to that stuff. But I think for what we're talking about today, the biggest thing is making sure that your day-to-day stuff is secure, for one, backed up, and you have all the information that you need to continue running that job over and over and over again, and not, like Eric said, go back to your customers and say, what did we do last time? Because it doesn't look that good when you have to do that. It's kind of embarrassing.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have done that once before.
Not me. Never done that.
Yeah.
As my nose is growing.
I've done it. We actually had a customer come in today, and he's like, "You did this one logo for us for like 3 years ago," and I go, "Okay, well, what would have been filed under? What was the logo name?" And he's like, and he gives me his name. It's like, well, we don't file it under an individual's name. We file it under what the design name would have been. And he's like, oh, I guess this. And then it's like he was being real vague, and it's like just to get him out of what the design was called was hard enough. And then luckily we had it on file. We found it and we have the information. But imagine if he's giving us that information, that vague information, we can't find the design, that job's pretty much lost. So we have Cindy that says, I guess you could always send yourself an email with the information. They have that for entering location. Yeah, that's definitely one way to utilize Gmail or your email server. I don't particularly trust those because there's been times where I know I've saved emails in Gmail and I can never find them again. So,
yeah, and if you fill up your Google account, you can always just create another one.
Well, not only that, but you can buy more storage.
Or you can do that too. But you just get another email and just don't, Then
it's going to be like you always say, I have so many email accounts, I can't find that email.
Yeah, I think like 7 of them connected here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I was looking for one email, and it took me like 5 minutes to check all of them. On my phone in the Gmail app, you can actually have it search all of the emails, and when I click that button, it just crashes Gmail and then reopens, and it's like, nope, you have too many emails. Does not like it.
His phone verbally says no to him.
I could just hear that too. Nope. Try again.
So yeah, the I would say the best bet is the online storage is.
I mean, if I can, online storage, it's just easier. It's better because you always have access, and then you don't have to worry about your backups. And
yeah,
right. And a lot of them out there, the free programs, it gives you, or the free packages, it gives you quite a bit of storage to start with. I think I used Dropbox for a good 3 years before I had to actually purchase a plan that gave me the 2 terabytes. Embroidery files aren't that big as far as file size, so you can definitely save a lot. Screen printers, when it comes to graphics, that's where you're using a lot of data. Vector art, especially when you start getting into real difficult art like Photoshop files and stuff like that, you definitely have some capacity issues if you are saving that much information. So that's why, like I said, we have dedicated backups that we use at work that back up, especially my computer that has all the graphics in it. So we always have that access. So
yeah, and even if you have everything on like your Google Drive, and let's say you want it on a local flash drive, just because you never know what could possibly happen. I mean, you can get programs that will automatically do that too for you. As long as you have the flash drive plugged in, every night at 11:45, it'll download and sync it. You can do stuff like that too, or you have multiple computers at home. I mean, then you're getting into a completely different topic, and there's much better videos on YouTube than what we would talk about here. But
exactly,
not everyone has like 78 terabytes of storage at their house.
yeah, I mean, it all it takes is you losing that data once.
Yeah.
I mean, once it's gone, it's gone. And I mean, when we moved here from our old house to this house, I packed all my computer stuff into one box because, that was a good idea. And we let the movers move everything. And somebody had dropped something in the box, and I lost every hard drive that was in that box.
Oh, no.
So there's so we're talking about cloud storage and Google and Microsoft and whatever. May have heard of a small company called Yahoo. They were moving one of their servers, or like a server farm, to a different building, like across the street, because they expanded. They put all of their hard drives in a like a cart or whatever, kind of like a shopping cart, and they're just pushed it across the parking lot, the asphalt parking lot, and the vibrations destroyed those drives, and all of those drives were dead. So they lost all of whatever that data was. I mean, that was umpteen years ago already, but things happen, or you have a fire in a data center while it's backing up and something gets corrupt. You never know. I mean, anything's possible. But
wow, that's crazy.
I just think that story of a big tech company having a failure like that is pretty comical, because there was a time where I took a hard drive to my uncle's house on the 4-wheeler because we lived in the country, and the vibrations from the 4-wheeler killed that drive. And I'm pretty sure Justin had a hard drive fail on him like a year and a half ago or whatever.
I did.
Yeah,
luckily, I remember that oh crap moment.
Yeah, luckily I did have backups, and it was easily changed out. It was the secondary drive on the computer, so it was easily fixed. But yes, there's definitely, when it comes to technology, there's definitely those moments that if you don't have things backed up, it can be very devastating to a business.
If you want to
it's
become
nice now because there is Google Drive, and there is
and it's
Dropbox, and those online storage places that you can put those files. Because that's when I lost all my drives. It was all back. Most of it, the important stuff, was backed up on Google Drive. And so it wasn't as devastating as it could be, but it's like all my family pictures and my kids' baby pictures, all of that's saved. I may have lost 1 or 2 days worth of working files, but I still have my kids' pictures. I still have my work files. I still have the important stuff. So I see people who their computer will die and they'll be like, I had everything on there, and there's no backup.
And if you haven't used one of these Google Drives, Dropbox, or any of those, they do have pretty much where you can download their app, whether it be on PC or Mac, and it actually just becomes a drive folder that you can access on your computer. It's not a matter of having to do a nightly backup or grab a file and have to go online to save it to a folder. You can if you want to. Pretty much everything's drag and drop now, or you can just drag it from one folder to your Dropbox. But yeah, if you install the software and you're going into your Windows Explorer, it's going to show up just like any other folder on your computer. It's going to have your Dropbox folder and all the subfolders. So it's pretty easy to. Just when I'm digitizing, it's like I start with my month, the current month folder is where I initially save it. I go work, save it. Once it's done, save it in the customer folder, save it into whatever the machine format that they need. So not only do I have all the natives, but I have the machine formats as well. So
yeah, just bringing this up real quick, like Justin just said. So on my PC, it's Windows. So we all Windows 10 and up. You all have OneDrive pretty much automatically. So that's just a regular folder. I have my Dropbox. If I open that, I don't even know what's in there anymore. A bunch of old stuff that I have never touched in a couple years. But then I have my Google Drive, which is then going to have all of my designs and everything in it. But so it's pretty much just another hard drive on your computer, and it looks no different. But
right,
except that I can save it on here and then pull it up on my phone immediately. Well, like 10 seconds later, and then email it to Jeff if he needs a file, and when I'm in a completely different country or whatever. So
when I first started digitizing and I was going back and forth between the office and home, I'd have a USB drive on a lanyard around my neck. Something that
you probably still do. Your dongle.
Yeah, my dongle. Yeah. It was something that to remind me that it's something physical that I need to take my files home with. So it was back and forth. So yeah, just like the dongle, if you forget it at home, it's that oh crap moment.
Or if you thought you forgot it at home and it's not at home, then it's a double oh crap.
I did that the other day. I thought I forgot my dongle, and then I checked my other pocket, and it was there.
It's like, whew, good thing I upped my dongle insurance.
Exactly.
Never thought that would be a thing, but
it is. My dongle is insured.
Mine is not. It's just underneath the desk, just waiting to get broken off by my knee.
Yeah, I have a USB strip that I have all my dongles plugged into.
Oh yeah, because not everyone has 17 different digitizing softwares.
I'm worried one day that lightning's going to strike and it's just going to blow up that one USB strip.
That's
and I'll be in tears.
Probably like $40,000 worth of dongles in that USB brick.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Is that a Pulse dongle? Oh yeah, then it's definitely. I was gonna say 20 originally, but I figured Pulse was plugged in there. So
yeah, Pulse's dongle, Wilcom's dongle. What's the other one? Let me look at it. MCAT is dongle. Then the other one's Design Shop. They went dongleless. It authenticates against just a server, and it gives your computer a thing. So yeah, I like that. And Wings now too is dongleless.
Dear Wilcom, please follow suit.
No more dongle insurance.
Yeah,
I mean, it is kind of nice because, you know, if you have a problem with it, you can call them and say, hey, I forgot to log out of it on my computer at home. Can you force close it? And they can force close it, and you can open it at work. So that's kind of it's a handy little thing.
You say at work, you mean from your couch?
Yeah.
You're too lazy to walk downstairs?
Yeah,
Sir,
I was gonna say,
calling from the same IP address.
Jeff's upstairs on his laptop, and he calls them. I forgot to shut it down.
Hey, it's a rough life. There are stairs involved.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah,
We only do those once a day.
Once a day.
Twice a day. You know, uphill both ways.
Yep. When I was a kid.
So I get we talked about quite a few things in this live. I don't know if anyone listening had any questions. I keep looking at my other camera, but I accidentally unplugged it. So I gotta look at that one. But yeah, if you have any questions or tips of how you organize things, I think throw them in the comments quick. But
Any of the announcements we have there, Jeff or Matt, besides Applique Getaway coming up in July?
no, but I'll be there. I have a pretty interesting topic, I think, with Jeff.
It's great because we're on video. I just have to make that face, and everybody goes, "Uh-oh."
It's it must be super interesting that Jeff doesn't even know about it, apparently. But
Super top secret. No, it'll be good. And then I'm doing a class with Adam, so that should be.
It's gonna be better, though. Probably
It should be entertaining. You know, every time I sit down next to Adam and he does a Facebook Live or he talks about any various topic that he talks about, the words that come out of his mouth just make me laugh sometimes. So it should be very entertaining. If nothing else, it'll be very entertaining. Should
we'll
be
see how far sidetracked we can get him.
Yep.
Topic.
Exactly. And then Justin's doing a class.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be teaching another class on 3D Puff because I like it so much.
The founding father of 3D Puff here.
Yes.
What he needs to do is just master the flat.
Yeah.
If you can make Puff come out flat and untextured.
Yeah, the tatami fill.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that, Jeff. Cindy is asking for the t-shirt deliveries. Yes, I do apologize for the delay on those. As I'm sure all of you know, the stock of garments has been pretty hard to fulfill. We were just waiting on some stuff that were coming back piece that came off back order so I can run them all together. More than likely, they will be printed and I'll be getting them ready to ship early next week. So I do apologize for the delay on those.
Awesome. Yeah. Supply chain.
Mm-hmm. There's a question there that I'll have you guys look after the live here. Al's asking about that servo motor on the post bed machine. That's your world.
It's Jeff. Jeff's the technical expert with all of that.
Yeah, I have installed a servo motor at least once. I think only once.
I've done it at least twice, and the second one wasn't fun. But
it
was
fun for me.
But we'll wait and see when I get my new Mero machine and what I'm gonna do. I think I might just swap them out. I'll probably keep that one and just swap that for when I don't want the new fancy features.
Just swap the table.
Why just rock the Mero off?
Yeah. That is one thing that I really like about the Mero is it is very easy to take off and put on the table.
If I could only have it like gear driven, so I literally just set it on there and the gear contacts. Yeah, I'll get my finger pinched in there and I'll be pinkyless or something. But
See, you need the gear-driven. Have you seen those gear-driven tables for the embroidery machines that the table will come up so you don't have to like lift it. You can lower and raise the table.
I've not seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No.
I think you should investigate into that so that you could just push a button and raise and lower your sash table.
I don't know. That seems way too complicated. Like I'm just figuring out how to do it now.
Matt's gonna have his machine on hydraulics.
There you go.
All right. Looks like we're about at that time. I guess Al does have those questions that he's gonna ask you off air there, Jeffrey.
Yeah, he's asking about hats. So that is nope, not me.
I don't know. You've got one hooped.
It's still hooped. It's just laying on the floor now, and it is right there.
That's the perfect place for it.
That shiny piece. That's the driver.
He's gonna keep that hooped until he has to run a hat. Finally,
it's not even properly hooped. It would come out crooked for sure. But I don't think there was anything else. But I was trying to figure out what deciphering designs. I was trying to decipher it. About I should be saving the white as a dip.
I think he's referring back to your white text on that. Just basically putting black on 2 needles as far as your color sequence.
Yeah, I should have. Unfortunately, I didn't. So that's problem number 1 through 9. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we really got. This was a very unorganized webinar, or not webinar. See, I don't even know what to say. What is this? Live, Facebook Live. And YouTube, live, internet live.
Needle bar live.
Very unorganized, pre-recorded live on how to be organized by one very unorganized person, one very organized person, and Jeff can pick his organization skill level, but
we don't talk about me in organization.
Okay. Yeah,
that's not a thing.
What you see behind him is a green screen.
First rule of organization is don't talk about organization.
That's exactly it.
There we go. That needs to be a shirt. That'll be the slogan for the next year's Embroidery Nerd shirt.
Patent pending.
Yeah, there you go. I hope there is some good information that people can utilize that we talked about today, or sparked an idea that can work with their particular business. So, and hopefully you keep you guys organized a little bit better than you were. So,
I think that's all we got. So, Jeff can do the closer. I did the intro, and Justin was here. So
that is Matt Enderly with Patch Phrase. That is Justin Armenta from JA Digitizing Studios. Thank you, guys. I'm Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works, and we are all here representing the Embroidery Nerd. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks,
Adios.
Guys.
See ya.